So Lizzie texted me last Wednesday evening and said, is there any possibility of whipping up my dad a cake for his birthday tomorrow? And I said, absolutely. Let's do this. All hands on deck. So I said, what is he into? And she said he was a Delta pilot. And so we went with that theme and I was so excited. And do not judge me. I needed a hat. My son's sailor hat was the closest thing that I could find to a pilot hat. So my sister actually has an acrylic company. And so she whipped up that custom Delta plane for me super quick. And so I was so grateful for that. And then I also have a cotton candy machine. I had this vision of just having the cotton candy kind of go over the cake. So I'll show you that later. So Lizzie wanted chocolate cake and of course with kamut flour. And so that's exactly what I did. So how I executed this, because it was a last minute cake order, I immediately made my cake layers once Lizzie texted me. And so that way they could cool overnight. And then I prepped my buttercream and I made sure that I had all of the supplies ready to go. So that way the next morning I could just make sure it was smooth sailing. Or a smooth flight, I guess, in this situation. But honestly, if you can make sure that you are prepped and ready to go, and that way you're not scrambling and freaking out about missing supplies or whatever, truthfully, it can go pretty easily still. The biggest downfall is just not having your cakes as cold as you'd like, and obviously not as much time on your hands that you would prefer. However, I chose a very simple design, and so I wasn't concerned. And the best part is truthfully the buttercream that I use, which is American buttercream that I preach every single day about. I have so much faith in it because honestly, once I crumb coated my cakes, I only had them crumb coat and sit in the fridge for about maybe 30 minutes. And then once I went in with my final coat of frosting, I had that sit in the fridge for probably another 30 minutes, about maybe 45 minutes. And then it was ready for my blue and final touches. And so you can see that it is really easy to handle. And so I can't preach enough about it. And so between the really moist layers of the kamut cake and then also the buttercream, it just balances really well. And so as you can see, I was kind of going for more like a sky effect. And so because I was a little pinched on time, I just kind of went with what I was feeling. And so I played around with the blue. I added a little bit of white. And so I was just having fun. So Lizzie also sent me this really cute image of her dad as a Delta pilot. And so we had to make sure that we put that on there as well. So I have an edible printer. So I just whipped that up super quick, put it on a little bit of fondant. And then I used my cotton candy machine to add some more clouds. And then when I got there, they got there so much earlier than I was expecting. So I was trying to hurry. And so I didn't fluff up the clouds as much as I was hoping, but I had a great conversation with them. They really are the most amazing family. And I was just so excited to do this cake. And so I hope your dad loved it, Lizzie.